JD, welcome back to my channel. Just first of all, I want to say a big thank you to everyone for supporting me with the Etsy launch for Willowbound Journals last week. It was a fun week and whether it was through entering one of the giveaways or just leaving a lovely comment and congratulating me for opening the shop or buying a journal or something else from my shop, just thank you so much. All of your kind words and support and encouragement have just been it's blown me away and just so amazing, and I've just loved connecting with all of you guys from around the world. Just completely overwhelmed and amazed by it. So yeah, you guys are awesome. And everyone says it, but the community, the junk journal community, is just a really friendly, inspiring, generous, encouraging, supportive group, and I can't speak highly enough about you guys. So and I know even just such a helpful group as well, and not just with junk journals, but in our own lives, personal lives as well. It's just been really encouraging. So I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. So a big thank you to all of you guys. So I will start announcing some of the winners to those giveaways over these coming days. Hopefully by the end of the week everyone will know who has won the giveaways. I'll leave the journal one to Saturday or Sunday to announce that one, just so it is open for a full week, but some of the others have already closed and others will close over the next few days. So yeah, I will maybe announce 2 or 3 winners coming up soon. So, and then yes, the other ones I'll get around to doing the videos for those announcements as well. So yeah, stay tuned. This video, I thought I would share just how I'm using my Daphne's Diary journal. So this is a journal that I made obviously out of Daphne's Diary, and this is the cover of one of the magazines, the very first Daphne's Diary that I bought. So it's got lots of special memories for me when I see this cover, and I especially love this blue bird, that cute bird here. And so I asked you guys how I should use it, and since you guys inspired me how to use it, I thought I would share it to kind of give back, and of course I just love to share. This is where my heart is at, really, most of all, journaling. I love seeing journals used. I love using journals myself. I'm very big on believing that a journal is made to be used. I used to be one of those people who when I got a special journal, I would hold on to it for ages thinking, oh, I can't wait to fill it up, but I would wait months and months and months before using it because I didn't want to ruin it. But what I found, as soon as I started writing in it, that was the joy, you know, and I always wanted to make it perfect and make the writing nice, and if I made a mistake, you know, I'll rip out the page or whatever. Sometimes I'd even white out a whole page, and do you know how long that would take? My goodness. I don't do that anymore, because what I discovered was I don't care about mistakes. What I care about is getting my thoughts down on a page. And however that looks is how it looks. The benefit of a journal for me is to record memories and to just keep my sanity a lot of the time. And you know, when you just need to get something out, that's what I do. Especially, I'm not sure if you, sorry, now I'm just rambling, but okay, so when I would go on a holiday or something amazing happened, like a birthday party or some special fun day, when it ended, I would be really sad. Like, I would be so happy that the amazing time happened, but there'd be this really big part of me that was so sad, and I couldn't explain it or define it, but it overwhelmed me, kind of thing. And the only way that I could get rid of that sad feeling that I discovered throughout my life is if I journal about what happened. So if I went on a great holiday, if I journal about that holiday, when the holiday ends, that feeling of sadness doesn't hit me so powerfully. Like, I would be on my bed crying almost, because I'd be so sad that whatever it is over. And it felt like I couldn't move on with my life, if that makes sense. It sounds like it's such a big deal, but that's how intense the feeling was for me. And what I just learnt was, if there's something amazing happened, I just got to journal about it, because that helps me to know that it's on a page, it's documented, and my mind and my heart is freed up to be able to take in more good things and to move on And I'm not sure if anyone else feels like that. And that's one of those things where it's so strong for me, and it feels weird saying it, and I don't really understand why I feel that way. And yeah, I'm not sure if everyone's like, "What is that's just so weird? You cry when happy things are over, or whatever." So it's just a way for me to know I can always go back to it. If I want to go back to that memory and that happy time or whatever, I can go back and go, oh, I remember that holiday, and I remember that birthday, and I remember that outing we went on, or that family reunion, or whatever it is. So writing, all that to say, writing and journaling and memory keeping is so, so, so important to me for my well-being. And just, it gives me so much joy as well to do it, and I just absolutely love it. Okay, now that's said, I'll show you how I've used this journal. So the first page, I journaled about Daphne's diary, which was one of the suggestions that the lady left in the comment, and I'm so thankful. And I just wrote about how I saw Amity Bloom's video on Daphne's diary and how that inspired me to get the magazine, and then I bought it for Christmas when I was in Melbourne, and and then how I made this journal and made a bunch of other journals. And I picked out some of my favourite pictures just to represent why I like the magazine. One, because it's got lots of florals and butterflies, and I love the creativity. So I just love this picture. It represents creativity, and that's a big value of mine. And just put the little tag thing here of Daphne's diary. And then over the page, I did end up journaling about my grandma's earrings that she gave me. And so I'll tell you the stories behind whatever I journal about. And whatever it is, it will mean so much to me. If I journal about it, it's because it means a lot to me. These earrings, I wanted to put the photo in and make it big so you could see them. Like, they're really small earrings. This is just a sleeper, and that's the pendant. So small earrings. And I was like, I need to make it big so I can see it. And I think it's too big now. But anyway, at least you can see it. And can you kind of see that? They're crystals and all faceted around here. So in the sunlight, they shine rainbows on the wall. You know, like, it's just so pretty to look at. And hopefully you can kind of see the light picking up that kind of thing, and you can kind of see the rainbow effect. Anyway, what happened was, my grandma was, growing up, one of my favourite people. Is that going to focus? And she was my favourite person, or one of my favourite people, because she was a lot like me. We were both creative, and the only other creative person in the family that I knew. And we both liked pretty things, you know, like earrings like this. We loved pretty things. And she decoupaged, and she painted, and she made clothes, she sewed, and oh, just amazing, all the things she made. She made my school dresses. I was the only one at school who had school dresses, the uniform, same as everyone else, except for one feature. She sewed lace around the edges of my dress, and she sewed a lace pocket onto one of my dresses, and I loved it so much. And things like she would buy a jumper and decorate it with diamantes on it for me. And even, I'll show you actually, wait, where is it? It's going to look ratty, but this brush, and now I'm going to show you my hair, but this brush, okay, it's a bit old and discoloured now, but I was there with her when she bought this brush for me, and there was a mirror as well, but I lost it over the years. But this brush, I saw her make it, and I saw her buy the things, and because she took me with her, and she's like, do you like this, do you like that, and there's glitter on it. You can't really see because it's not focusing, but there it is. Oh, so she made me this, painted it and lacquered it, and oh, I love this brush because it reminds me of her. Anyway, so just things like that. We really connected with that kind of thing. Also, like, she gave me this ring before she died, and because she knew I liked sapphires, and she used to have a sapphire ring. She had 5 rings on one finger, and I would always play with them and love looking at them. And she actually gave me one of them, so I'll show you that as well. This one here, it was my favourite one of her 5 rings because it was the biggest and the sparkliest, but it was also the least expensive because this is only cubic zirconia. Her other rings were diamonds, but as a kid, you know, you just go for the one that's the biggest, and so shiny, and like, it's quite massive if you look at it on screen. It's not really focusing, but oh, wait a second, let's take that one off. The only reason I'm not wearing it at the moment is because I don't know what you call them, but oh, I'm so sorry that's not focusing, because it's so pretty. The prongs on it, if that's what you call it, have come loose, so the stone is a bit loose, so I have to go to the jeweler and get that fixed. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. That is not fun. Anyway, she had it resized for me again before she died, and she gave that to me, and she gave each of the other rings to her daughters and granddaughters and everything. And anyway, so this is just how like, this is to show how much she meant to me and how much she understood me, and that she bought me this ring, and oh my goodness, it's a sapphire and 2 diamonds and white gold. It's like the most expensive thing I own. These are all just cubic zirconias and silver. Like, so that, I just, amazing. Why is that one focusing and not the other one? Anyway, so she got me these earrings. She had her own pair of crystal earrings. They were my favourite one. I'd always go through her jewellery and play with it. And I'd always loved her crystal ones, which were the same as this, but a bit bigger, and they were teardrop kind of shaped. And one day she bought me my own pair, and they were these gorgeous round ones, and I love them. And then, so last year she died, and when I found out that she died, I put in these earrings and wore them, and I've worn them ever since. I've still got them in right now. But what happened? A few weeks ago, I was house sitting, and one morning I went to the kitchen just before I left the house, picked up my keys from the table and everything, and I noticed that my earring had come undone, and I did it up and went about my day, blah blah blah. Came home. Later in the night, I had a shower, and when I had wrapped my hair in the towel, my ear caught on the earring, and so I took the towel off and realised that the crystal was gone. Same earring that had come undone in the morning. So I wasn't sure when I lost it, was it in the morning? Because I don't remember if, when I did up the sleeper, if the crystal was still on it. I assumed it was, but I was in a rush, and you just do it up and off you go. And so I wasn't sure. And I looked around everywhere. I shook out the towel, and I looked on the floor, and I went into the shower, looked in the shower, and then I retraced my steps to the table and looked underneath the table, and then I couldn't find it anywhere, and thought about where I'd been in the day. I'd been to the post office and around this farm to feed all the animals where I was house sitting, and it could have been anywhere. So I was a bit, let down or disheartened. And I kept looking. I retraced my steps over and over, and I looked in the shower so many times because my gut feeling was that I'd lost it in the shower. And I looked at the drain holes, and they were big enough, unfortunately, for my earring to go down. So I was just, thinking the worst, and especially because I spent most of the shower kicking water into the corners and washing it down into the drain, because you know how dirt and sand collects in the corners. And so I was like my focus in the shower, get every single bit of dirt down the drain. And so I was just like, man, if it fell off in the shower, of course it went down the drain because I was kicking water down the drain. Anyway, so I was about to give up, and then spur of the moment just went, I'm going to pray. And I did something that I didn't normally do. I've never really prayed for this kind of a miracle type thing. I know some people always pray for miracles and things, but I'm not that kind of person. So I just prayed, God, I know it's just a little thing and it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's just, I've got the memory in my heart, but it does mean a lot to me because she meant a lot to me. My grandma meant a lot to me. And if you would help me find the earring, it would show me, how much you care, because it would show me that you care just simply because I care, that you love me, and that means that you then care about things that I care about. And that's not a prayer that I would usually pray. I'll just go, oh, whatever, that's okay, God, it's okay. But for this one time, I was just like, okay, I'll pray this prayer. And I said, either way, whether you help me find it or not, I know you love me, so it's all good. But it would just show me that you do care about the things I care. And I said this thing as well that I've never said before, but things like, I believe you created the universe, which I obviously do. And if I believe you're powerful to do that, then I also believe you're powerful enough to bring a earring back out of a drain, and I believe you're powerful enough to put a crystal wherever you want. And that's not the kind of prayer that I would usually pray. Like I said, like that's crazy. But in that moment, I did believe it. I literally did believe that he could do that. And not just in theory. Like, I believe he can do anything in theory, but to actually pray it and believe it in faith, this one time I did. Anyway, kind of long story, not short. I finished that prayer, went to the shower one last time, and there on the tiles was my crystal earring. And I smiled, and I don't know, I think it was just a moment of real big faith, and it was crazy, because the amount of times that I looked in that shower, my goodness. Okay, anyway, so that's what happened, and it just showed me God's love and everything, and okay, anyway, that's a long story. And then, I actually put that into a story and submitted it in a writing competition, because I'm a writer, and I love submitting to writing competitions, so I'll keep you posted if anything happens with that. On this page, this is a picture of my dog. Well, here, because this page just inspired me, there's a picture of a dog on it, so I was like, there was just some writing here, and I didn't, it wasn't meaningful to me, so I just found this picture that I had. I've got so many pictures of her, and I cut it to fit the sizing of this little kind of frame, and this was in 2007, so my little puppy died in oh my goodness, 11. So she's been, it's been a while, but I had her for 10 years, and she just gave me so much joy. And when she did die from cancer, her life cut short. It was horrible. It was probably one of the saddest times, and I did cry for many nights, and I know, like, I hear of other people saying their dogs died, and I feel for you guys, and just know that, I can totally understand, and just journaling really helped for me. Not as soon as, maybe a day after she died, the first thing I did was get out my laptop, open a new document, and I just wrote and wrote and wrote every single memory I could remember of her, from her birth to her death. So, and all the special memories of her, and I'm gonna write one in particular here, which I might share later, because I haven't actually done it yet. And in fact, now I know what I'm going to write here, now that I'm saying this. There's this, out of all the stories, there's one in particular that I want to write. So I'm going to do that. Alright, I've skipped a few pages and come over here. And this page, I have stuck this sheet on, which I got from the lovely Tony. And I love it. It's the blue and the purples. I love it. And I do that because I like to use these pens that they do bleed through the page. So one of the things I like to do is just stick on another piece of paper so that it won't bleed, so that I can use both sides. And that's why I also don't like having bulky journals, because once I know what I want to write about, that's when I'll stick extra things in and I'll bulk it up myself. Same with this little thing here. So I've added a page, and I got this from Tony in Happy Mail. So only things relevant to what I want to journal about is how I've decorated the page. And so I printed out a big one, and I printed out a smaller version to make this page, and backed it onto this coffee dyed paper that she gave me. And basically what she wrote, you know what, it's 19 minutes, so I'm going to cut this short because it's probably going to take me another bit of time to talk about the rest. So I will be back very soon. I'll just post it straight after. So I'll see you soon, guys.